Hello and welcome to Crux Investor. Caught up today with Shane Ebert. He's the CEO of Canex Metals, small prospector hunting for gold in Arizona. If you want our thoughts and opinions on the conversation, their plans, and indeed the company itself, you can find that at cruxinvestor.com/club, where you can also find detailed company reports and analysis. There are commentaries from experts from around the world on a variety of companies and commodities. So check your theses out before you invest. Also training videos on there to help you with your diligence process. You can find summaries of other interviews that we've done to save you some time. And if you want to join a thriving community of intelligent investors sharing their thoughts and ideas with each other in a nice, safe environment, free from judgment, trolling, and abuse, go to cruxinvestor.com/club. I guarantee you'll love it. Also, do give us your thoughts below. We'll try and get back to absolutely everyone. And of course, a like wouldn't go amiss. Plus, if you want to see what we talked about today, take a look in the description. Shane, how you doing, sir?
Good, Matthew. How are you?
Not too bad. Haven't spoken to you for ages. September, I think. How have you been?
Yeah, good. Good. Keeping cool, for sure.
Keep cool. Where have you been hanging out?
So right now I'm in northern Arizona on the project. We're just getting ready, gearing up for a drill program.
Right. Okay. And how's Christmas? Talk me through that.
It was good. Northern BC is where I'm based. And, it was kind of different than most Christmases with COVID and everything else going on. How about you?
Yeah, the same. What can you say? The new norm. Next year, booking holidays, getting away from it all for sure. So what's it like down in Arizona? Is it a bit warmer?
Well, you'd think so. We just had a winter storm come through, so we have a couple inches of snow on the ground. But, it's nice weather to work in for someone from Canada. This is fantastic.
Really? It was like 110 last time I spoke to you there.
It was too hot in the summer. 110 is too hot. Right now it's around a 0 to 10. Not a bad temperature for getting work done.
Really? Oh, man. Okay, if you say so. I prefer it to be slightly warmer, but I'm not a miner, thankfully. Well, hey, we ran through your business plan, the strategy, the team, the assets, and all of those things last time. So I'll put a link to the last conversation we had in September below. People can look at that. I recommend that they take a look at that to try and understand who's involved. Some nice names involved. Today, though, we've seen a few press releases. You've raised some money just recently. You've secured additional asset. So I want to kind of catch up on, how things have been. But before we do, give people new to the story a 1-minute overview of the business, if you don't mind, and I'll pick it up from there.
Yeah, so Canex Metals is an early stage gold exploration company. We're focused in northern Arizona at our Gold Range property. We recently identified some brand new bulk tonnage opportunities with our maiden drill program. We've now added to that potential with a property next door at Excelsior. We have Altius Minerals as one of our major backers, and we're excited to move our projects forward.
Okay, Arizona, we've seen quite a few names there. We've seen Fiore, Northern Vertex. We've got the likes of Liberty, American Silver. There's some big names up and around there, but it all seems kind of early days. So what's happening up there?
Yeah, so, the geology here in Arizona is excellent. There's a lot of really good gold potential, but unlike Nevada, just to the north, which has been gone over in detail, Arizona's been, there's a little more opportunity here. We're right between northern Mexico and Nevada to the north. This is a great jurisdiction geologically. We're the top 10 in the Fraser Institute for mining attractiveness. It's a great place to explore, and I think people are starting to clue in, and there's a lot more people looking in this belt, one, because of the opportunity, but two, because of the great jurisdiction.
Right, and I noticed that you've tied up a little bit more land. You've done a deal on the Excelsior mine, so why did you need to do that?
Yeah, that's key for us. I mean, we've added some really key claims. Some of the biggest past producers are in the claims that we just tied up. There's a zone at Excelsior that's seen historic underground mining and then some more recent open pit mining. It's got a beautifully exposed high-grade vein with a halo 20 to 50 meters wide of veinlets and veining and good alteration and mineralization that could really have some bulk tonnage potential as well as that high-grade element. So it's an exciting target. It's well-defined. It's drill ready. The work we've done already and the work we continue to do over the last week is really putting a pin on what controls mineralization and the targeting there. So we're going to put some holes into it near term, and I'm excited to see what that will bring.
Okay, but last time we spoke, you were going to allocate about $500,000 to have a look at what you had and see if it confirms your thoughts. So that's happened. We've seen some results come out of that. I'm trying to work out what I feel about this. So it seems to be there's high grade vein, but there's also some bulk, it seems. So do you know what you've got? More of an idea what you've got after that drilling?
Yeah, exactly. It really helped us put things in perspective, figure things out a bit. Our focus pre that last program was really on the high grade nature. We saw lots of nice high grade veins. We spent a fair bit of effort on our pit zone, which is a bunch of stacked horizontal high grade veins. We drilled some holes. We sort of showed that there isn't these steeply dipping feeder zones. The main control here is really a very flat lying mineralized structure that seems to be fairly continuous. We found a new zone just off of that pit, drilled a couple holes into high grade. We call it the pit extension zone. We hit 10 grams over 1.5 meters. And then just a little bit south of there, we made a new discovery at the El Dorado zone, where again, it looks like it's flat dipping. So we've really learned a lot from that program, and we've made a couple of interesting realizations and discoveries with the drill. And I think we're really setting ourselves up well to start to figure out the district and then efficiently explore it.
Okay, right. I'm going to ask you a question. Be straight with me. You chose to come back down here. You raised some more money and you chose to come back down here. So after seeing the first set of data, which you spent $500,000 on, you felt encouraged. You think there's more to do here. You didn't go back up to some of your other projects or opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. We've sort of confirmed the mineralized zones. We've refined our understanding. But on the bigger picture controls, I think we've really opened things up. And we have a lot of technical people that get it. We need to convey that message to the average investor who may not understand, that a half gram over 20, 30 meters at surface that's oxidized can have a lot of value. These bulk tonnage targets can be amenable to really low-cost heap leach operations. They're very cheap to build, very cheap to set up. And there's a lot of companies out there in this area and through northern Mexico into Nevada that operate these low-cost operations that can be very high margin. So these can add a ton of value, and we've recognized that. And we think that, with a little bit of expansion and understanding the general market, maybe we'll focus that we're not just a high-grade target here. We're really a high-value heap leach type, low-cost mining target.
Okay, district. That's a big word to use. Okay, if you think you've got a district, and I get, I mentioned some of the other players in the area, and I think they're talking the same language. So I don't think it's unusual to throw that, but it's going to take money. You spend $500,000. You've just gone and raised just over $1.6 million. It's not a lot of money, especially in this gold environment. So why are you being so cautious with the way that you're funding this?
Yeah, so we've actually raised about 1.7 million. We've got just over 2 million in the bank. We're expected to receive about 150,000 shares of Canada Nickel Company, which are around 260 today. We're starting with another, say, $500,000 program to take it to the next step. So we're really learning as we go. There's not a ton of exposure except in a few key areas. And you don't want to blow all your exploration budget when you don't really understand what it is you're exploring. So I think the key for us is to do this systematically, stepwise. We're into a couple of good zones. We can see what's at the new Excelsior zone. It's well exposed. We'll put a bunch of holes into there. We'll put 15 holes into our new discovery at El Dorado. We'll prove that the zone is flat dipping, that it's continuous, and then we'll start to expand it outwards. And it's really taking it step by step by step, which is going to lead to an efficient exploration program. So we can explore here year round. We don't have to rush and get everything done in a month or 2 months. The industry is busy. There's a lot going on. We have to use the windows where we can get equipment, where we can get the people we need, and move things forward.
But it feels like, it takes the right way. You're being very cautious with your approach when everything we see around us in this bull market, gold bull market, is people are shouting and screaming and getting funding where, quite frankly, sometimes I don't think they deserve to, because there's a lot of money slushing around. We're not tempted to just get everything you need in one go, rather than this sort of I get the anti-dilutory bit, but it's also very cautious.
Right. Yeah, well, part of it is, we want to build value for shareholders. We don't want to raise too much money right off the gate at discount prices. Let's say, we've raised enough. We raised just about 1.7 recently. We were way oversubscribed, a lot of demand. We brought in some really quality shareholders into that deal. People that are patient will give us some time to exercise our game plan. If we really truly want to build value, and unlike some of our competitors, we're starting from scratch here. We're not rehashing something that's been kicked around 20 times. We're out there generating new ideas, new targets, and actually finding new zones of gold mineralization. And there's a big difference there. There is a bigger learning curve. There's a bigger risk-reward ratio for what we're doing, but that's sort of the space that we like to play in.
Okay.
Matt, let me just add one more thing. It's important for you to understand this is prospecting. We're focused on per share growth, not growing our market cap. We need to be measured. We take rifle shots. We understand what we're doing. We collect data. We refine data. We use what we've learned to phase the second program and make advances. That's how we're going to make discoveries, and that's how we're going to do it cost effectively.
Looking at your share price, it's about 15 cents. I think when we spoke, it was about 27 cents. It was the market's not hearing you. Do you think you've done this the right way as far as the market is concerned?
So nobody wants to see their share price head in the wrong direction. There's a lot of headline news the last little bit. The industry's in the same position. There's a lot of micro caps in our position that have settled back a bit. Bottom line is we're excited by what we have. We've raised some money. We're going to be out here drilling. There's a lot of really good upside for the company, and we're very excited, to move this project forward.
Okay, you're excited. The market's not. You talk about time to get it right. How much time? How much time should people give you if they're looking at you? Because there's a lot of noise out there. People, let's say shouting and screaming, "Look at me! I'm the next big gold thing." If you need time, they need to understand your process. And you've got $1.6 million. So how do you spend that? How long does it take?
Yeah, so we'll probably have a couple of programs. This one we're on now, about $500,000. We'll probably drill 35 holes. What we want to do here is really confirm and understand the zones that we're into and the new targets that we're into. We have some other existing targets. We'll put a few holes into that. There's probably 15 holes into this new El Dorado bulk tonnage target, probably 15 holes into the new Excelsior acquisition where we can see mineralization. And we really need to understand, again, how wide are these halos? How continuous is the high-grade core? And how does it fit together in that 3-kilometer belt between the two, which looks to me like, aside from exposure, it's the same geology and same potential. We could find several zones along here. So when it comes to timing, let's get this program done. It'll take 3 weeks to drill. It'll take a month and a half for assays. We'll evaluate, understand, figure out what it is we have. It's an iterative process. You always have to learn from what you've done so you don't make similar mistakes and you can advance things properly. Then we'll probably lead into a much bigger definition program with success. And that's the program where we'll really start, okay, let's drill test these 3 kilometers of strike length. Let's pull it out, see how far we can trace it down dip in these shallow dipping zones, that type of stuff. So we're really at the point now, it's still confirmation drilling. It's still figuring out what we have and looking at the grades and the widths. One of the things I didn't mention that excites me on this new discovery at El Dorado, we have a 27 meters or so horizon that's almost a gram, but the holes there go down to 150 meters plus, and they have anomalous low-grade mineralization all the way through that 150 meters. So there's a lot of 0.1, 0.2 gram material, which may not be that interesting to most people, but it really shows there's a big system operating here. It's not just little tiny veins. There's a very pervasive gold mineralizing event that have gone through these rocks. And with a bit more understanding and a bit more drilling and figuring out, there's a lot of upside here for perhaps a much bigger system.
Much bigger system, indeed. And if it's on your land package, that all well and good. But coming back to these other companies, these other groups around you, I mean, what's the real play here? I mean, are you just another bit part player hoping to get picked up by someone else? Is there a roll-up opportunity here from someone with deep pockets? Or, are you going to chart your own course?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of everything. We're open to opportunity, but when we look at the bigger district, we have a competitor just to the west of us who are working on expanding, a multi-100,000 ounce resource base. We see a very similar structural control between what they have and several systems on our ground with the same type of mineralization and control. And if you combine that together, you can all of a sudden build some pretty serious ounces on a consolidated district basis. Our focus right now is to explore what we have. We have a lot of room for some very significant mineralized zones on our ground. So we'll take it step by step and look at opportunities as they come. But it's really, we think we can add a ton of value and make some really good discoveries in the near term. And that's what we're focused on.
Okay. Shane, appreciate that. Stay in touch. It sounds like you're a couple of months away from being able to announce results of drilling, because it sounds like the assay labs are chock-a-block. That must be problematic.
Yeah, everything seems to be slower. I was hoping things would, some of the backlogs would clear up, but there's still a lot going on in the gold industry. So assay labs are still slammed. Things take a bit longer. It's just part of the business. When things are hot and people are putting money into the space and there's a lot of people out there doing the same thing, you got to wait your turn.
Okay. Well, Shane, appreciate that. Stay in touch. Let us know how you get on, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you, Matthew.